always loved visiting Mrs. Anna's house because she had the most beautiful toy store in the neighborhood. She specialized in selling handmade dolls, each with its own unique shape, face, and clothing. She even named each doll and considered them as her own children. Mrs. Anna was an elderly woman, living alone in an old house. She seemed a bit eccentric and distant, but she was kind and generous to children. She always invited us into her house, allowing us to see and play with her dolls. We loved that because her dolls were beautiful and lifelike. But one day, I discovered that Mrs. Anna's dolls were not ordinary toys. They were peculiar creatures that had killed and replaced my friends. I realized this when I passed by Mrs. Anna's store in the evening. I saw the light coming from inside the store and became curious about what she was doing. I secretly peeked through the window, and what I saw was horrifying. Mrs. Anna was sitting on a long chair amidst 2 rows of shelves filled with dolls. She was laughing hysterically and talking to the dolls. But they weren't ordinary dolls. They had faces identical to my friends. I recognized Felicia, Jolie, Linda, my friends whom I hadn't seen for a long time. They had mysteriously disappeared, and no one knew where they went. I had worried and searched for them everywhere, but there was no trace of them. It seemed like the world had forgotten about them. The dolls in Mrs. Anna's store were no longer harmless toys. They were malevolent creatures that had sucked the blood and souls of my friends. They retained their faces and bodies but lost their life and emotions. They only obeyed Mrs. Anna and waited for the next victims. I felt fear and horror. I wanted to run away from this place, but I couldn't. Mrs. Anna spotted me. She turned to look at me with greedy and insane eyes. She said to me, "Hello, who are you? Would you like to come and play with me? I have so many beautiful dolls. You will love them." I didn't dare to answer. I just wanted to escape from her sight, but she wouldn't let me go. She stepped out of the store and pulled me inside. She said to me, "Don't be afraid, I won't hurt you. I just want you to be friends with my dolls. You will become one of them and live forever with me." I screamed for help, but no one heard me. I struggled, but she was too strong. I saw her take a sewing needle and stab it into my neck. I felt my blood flowing and my consciousness fading. That was the last time I saw the light of life.